Let me tell you, the gun-hating Democrats' dirty little secret. They welcome mass shootings, and they don't give a damn about the victims. Before the crime scene tape can be rolled up, the hyperventilating starts. Exploit death and despair to dismantle the Second Amendment and disarm the law-abiding. Thanks to the Crime Prevention Research Center, when you look at mass public shootings, when a shooter goes into a church or a school, for example, with the sole intent of killing as many people as possible, there have been 90 of those shootings since 1998 up until present day. In 71% of those shootings, the killer used a handgun, not a rifle. But drugged up Joe Biden will never tell you that. Here he is lying about the 1994 assault weapons ban.
And in the 10 years it was law, mass shootings went down. But after Republicans let the law expire in 2004, and those weapons were allowed to be sold again, mass shootings tripled. Those are the facts.
No, those aren't the facts, Joe. See, Joe is forced to play statistical gymnastics to get to that point. The reality is there was no drop in the number of attacks with AR-15 style rifles during the ban, and after the ban ended, there was a large increase in the number of mass public shootings, but overwhelmingly, they were committed with handguns, not rifles. And may I add, after the assault weapons ban ended, in the 10 years following, the percentage of mass public shootings where an assault rifle was used, well, it actually went down, meaning by nearly every honest researcher's account, the assault weapons ban had no effect on public safety, none. So since the facts aren't on the left side, what do? Well, they sensationalize. They try to use emotion.
We need for the American people to see what these children's bodies look like when they've been hit by these bullets. Make them face the ugliness of it.
They said that they needed a Second Amendment because they needed the armed, disciplined, that was their word, militia to put down slave revolts.
These deaths, these record numbers of American slaughters are political. Their tolerance for blood and the NRA's tolerance for slaughter are bottomless.
You want to know another little secret? MSNBC right there, they have armed guards protecting them. So the Democrats are duping you, as you saw right there. They're off the chain. They talk about mass shootings where 4 or more people are killed. They want you to think they're simply talking about public shootings, like the ones in Buffalo and Uvalde. But instead, their statistics that they use all include shootings where 4 or more people are killed, but 85% of those shootings are drug-related. Gangbangers battling it out on our city streets. Not only do they not tell you that, but they also don't care about those shootings. Look at the 12 cities that broke homicide records in 2021. From Portland to Philly, Austin to Indy, all run by Democrats, and yet they make no effort to prosecute gun crimes in those cities or go after the illegal guns. Instead, they focus on taking away our guns. It really flies in the face of common sense here. Why disarm the law-abiding who's causing no problems and allow the armed criminals to flourish who are causing the problems? Just look at Chicago. Violent thugs there killed 62 people in the month of May. That's twice as many Americans killed than in the mass shootings that recently took place in Buffalo, Uvalde, and Tulsa, Oklahoma combined. Why isn't Joe Biden paying a visit to the victims' families in Chicago? Aren't all lives equally important? They are, to me. To the anti-gun, anti-freedom left, though, the answer is no, they're not all equal. See, it's far easier for them to exploit a mass murder in a grocery store or a school or a church than it is in the hood. While every death is tragic, every single one of them, far more of our young Americans are dying in our inner cities than at the hands of a mass shooter with an AR-15.
50 people, though, shot over the weekend. 9 of them were killed.
A suspect wanted for setting a homeless man on fire. It happened on Lower Wabash in Chicago.
I walked up and my baby was there shot.
She says her 17-year-old son, hit with 9 bullets, laid there bleeding on the Chicago Avenue sidewalk.
A hail of gunfire in the light of day on the near north side.
news.
A Sunday press conference held in front of a memorial for an innocent child shot and killed.
Why don't they cover that? The mainstream media, local media does. Where's the national media? Where's Joe Biden? Where's Kamala Harris? Where's AOC? Where are they all? They ignore that. And it's criminal that they do. All of that, what you just saw there, is absolutely sad. Joe Biden wants you to believe, though, that guns drive violent crime, too. I'm going to blow another hole in his statistics. All right? It's just not true. When you look at the latest FBI statistics from 2020, of the 4.5 million cases of rapes, robberies, and aggravated assaults, only 350,000 of them involved a firearm. Of the nearly 22,000 murders recorded in 2020, the FBI says 13,620 involved guns. So when it comes to violent crimes overall, you add up all those numbers, just 7.9% of all violent crimes are committed with a firearm. There's no record, by the way, of how many crimes are stopped with a firearm. It's in the millions. It's more proof that guns are not the problem. Violent people are. And just one more statistic for you, one the left will never tell you, is that 96% of all public mass shootings occurred in so-called gun-free zones. So even using Democrat logic, they appear to be the problem, gun-free zones. So if you want to outlaw something, outlaw gun-free zones.